Hi BookTube, welcome to Jackie's Literary Corner. I am Jackie and it's time for 7 on Sunday. This is a little late because I'm filming on that Sunday, the 14th. So you guys probably won't see this until tomorrow or later this evening because I am filming a few other videos later. But this topic is hyped books by authors I haven't gotten to. Now some of these it's more like there's a curiosity for these authors. There's some of them I'm more leaning towards than others, but I just picked authors that I've heard a lot about that I feel are very hyped. That, there is a bit of consideration. And now there is one that is probably very unlikely that I'll ever check out their work on this list. But the idea is sounding kind of intriguing. It's just the execution I'm not sure about. Okay, so first one is Fredrik Backman. He is a Swedish author. His book, A Man Called Uwe, recently got adapted, and they did both a Swedish version and then there's the American version. So the American version is the most recent. It's A Man Called Otto, starring Tom Hanks. The trailer looked good, and I did comment on Instagram that I was intrigued by the trailer and I want to see it, but I also mentioned that I have not read the book. And of course, someone suggested, "Oh, you should read the book. It's so great. You'll love it." And here's my thing about that. Like, unless I'm already inclined to that genre, like, I feel like there's a bit of a pressure, even if people don't mean it that way. And they're not saying, "Oh, you have to read this," but they're just their excitement, makes me feel like there's this pressure to read it, and then it makes me less inclined to want to read it. But he's definitely someone I need to be in the right mood for. He is the author of Beartown, which became a trilogy. And then there's the one I just mentioned, A Man Called Uwe, and then Anxious People was his most recent one that just came out. And some of them kind of sound intriguing, and they're definitely deal with a lot of heavy topics. And I feel like there's probably going to be a bittersweetness to his works. Now, there is one that is a little too close to home about something that I can, relate to. That I don't know if I want to read it. It's not that I'm not ready. It's just I will never be ready. I am not interested in reading about that. It's too much for me. So I have seen him at the library and at the roast office, so I have thought about it. But I don't know. Like I said, as soon as someone says, "Oh, you should read this, it's the best," they didn't say it like that, but they were excited, and then that makes me feel, like I said, a little pressured. So author number 2 is one I'm more inclined to check out because she kind of leans towards the magical realism. And this was someone, and I was reminded of this author, the channel Throne of Pages, or she was doing an around the world, reading around the world video, and she decided to start with the part of the world that she is originally from, her family is from, and Isabel and Allende is from one of the countries where she's originally from, the part of the world that she is originally. And I've seen her work both at the roast office, again, just like Fredrik Backman. I've seen her work both at the library and the roast office, and like I said, I would be a little more inclined to give a shot because of, magical realism, but which is close to fantasy. She's the author of House of Spirits, and she just recently came out with a book called Violetta. So I have considered her work, but then I wasn't sure, so I would end up putting it back. So maybe I should try to get it from the library, maybe get one of her shorter works from the library and borrow it. Like I said, I'm trying to take a step back from the library because, as I've said before, there's this feeling of, knowing that in the back of my mind, okay, I have to finish these I have to prioritize these library books and get them finished so I can eventually return them. And I don't like that feeling that gives me because, again, this pressure to finish it, and then I end up not prioritizing the books I already own. And I don't want to, like I said, I know I can renew it, but I don't like doing that. So it won't take away the pressure. It'll just add on to it, because it would be like, okay, great, I have to renew this again because I'm not finished with it. Like I can't, get the really long books from the library, because I'm not a super fast reader, even though I will read multiple books at once. But so yeah, I couldn't get her longer books. If I decide for that, I would have to get one of her shorter books, or shorter works, if she has any. Okay, so the next author is another one that kind of got on the radar by one of the celebrity book clubs. It was Reese Witherspoon's book club, and it even got adapted. I think there's another book that's going to be adapted by her. It's Celeste Ng, and it's Little Fires Everywhere. It got adapted a couple years ago. Starring Kerry Washington, and Reese herself starred in it. And she produced it. And it did look pretty good. Like, sometimes it takes, a movie adaptation or TV show to get me intrigued by the book, And yes, I know a lot of times the movie adaptations or the TV show adaptations can be really bad or just not good adaptations, but sometimes it just takes the way a movie trailer or a TV show trailer, or just watching the movie to get me, let me see what about the book. But yeah, she, like Frederick Bachman, deals with a lot of heavy topics that I have to be in the mood for. So yeah, I bet it's Celeste Ng. So next author is one that another author that I would be in the mood for, but it's a different kind of mood, because her books are a lot more lighthearted, and that is Emily Henry. She writes romances, and her romances do have some heavier topics in, like a character who's dealing with a lot of personal issues. Like book club, as a reader, book lover sounded the most interesting, but there's also beach read. And then there was one more well known. There were 3 that were really well known, but I can't remember what the third one was. And it seems like all books have to do with books, because there's beach read, which, someone reading on the beach while they're, taking a vacation. And then the other one was book lovers, and I think there's a focus, one of the main characters is a publisher, either a publisher or an author. I think beach read was the one with the 2 people switching genres, I think. But her romances sound really cute. Oh, and Happy Place. It's not the one I was thinking of, but there's another one that's coming out there's another book by her called, I think it's called Happy Place, coming out. So she's one that I'm not, entirely, but like I said, I have to be in the right mood for her. And again, it's a different kind of mood, because she doesn't necessarily write heavier topics. There are still fluffy romances, but, I still have to be in the mood for that kind of genre, the fluffy romance stuff. In some of these genres, it's just easier for me to watch a movie in that genre. Okay, so that was number 4. Number 5 is an author that I actually don't know if he's hyped or not, and he's only written 1 series as far as I know, and it was because of Mike from Mike's Book Reviews. This guy got on my radar again, because I have read his first book, from the series. I started to read it, but then I decided to DNF because I decided it wasn't for me. But now that I'm getting more into sci-fi and trying sci-fi, I don't think what I like in sci-fi, I'm reconsidering and getting his this book from the library again. And then Mike from Mike Book Reviews has gotten me hyped about it and intrigued to buy it. And that's Pierce Brown, and the book is Red Rising. It's based on a series. There are now 6 books, I believe. Like, he did 1 trilogy, and he ended there, but then years later decided to pick it up again and continue it with, it's kind of, I think it's the same type of world with the same characters, but it's a different story. And, Mike has been really hyping it up. So maybe that's the only reason why I think it's hyped, because he hypes it up, and I don't know if other people love it as much. But yeah, I'm, since I'm trying to get more into sci-fi, I feel like I'm gonna try it again. So that's Pierce Brown, and then that was number 5. Number 6 is, this is the one where I'm just not entirely, I probably will never get, this is more of a, like, this is my least likely. But Terry was reading this author's work, and I recommend it. I thought she might like it, seem more like her cup of tea than mine. And then I've heard from Becca, and Becca in the books I think she was the other person that was reading this author's work. Her or someone else, I don't know. But this is Katie Roberts, and she writes a lot of smutty romances, and I think she's the one who does that, like, where the hero or the heroine falls for the bad guy instead. And on the one hand, the premise did sound intriguing, but on the other hand, I just wasn't sure how I would like it or not, because it's based on some of my, favorite movies. And other factors were into play about me considering. Okay, so the last is the only author on this list that is that I definitely want to read their work, although, and that is Olivia Blake. And I have the Atlas 6. I have not read it. I did buy it though. I just haven't picked it up yet. And she recently published the Atlas Paradox. I think it's going to be a trilogy. I think there might be one, either it's a duology or a trilogy. I can't remember. So she, and then now, like, she was a self-published author, like the Atlas 6 was self-published or independently published, and now all of her other works are being published and coming out into the world. But she's the only one that I actually would be most inclined to check out. The Atlas 6, I believe, is like a group of 6 people. They have been recruited to join the secret society, and I think it plays with the idea of what if the Library of Alexandria had not burned down, and they have a secret society. So that is the only one that I'm most inclined. She's the author that I'm most inclined to read. Although her other books do seem like she dabbles in different genres. But anyway, yeah. So she's the only one that's pretty close to definite that I would like to check out her work. So those are 7 hyped authors that I haven't read. Like I said, some of them I am just mildly curious, and others I would be more inclined to pick up than So are there any hyped authors that any of you are intrigued by, that you have considered picking up but you're not entirely sure? Or on authors that the ones that you're most inclined to pick up, you just haven't yet, for some reason or other. Please feel free to share in the comments below. I will, as always, post a link to the Goodreads group when I post in the description box below when I post this video, when I upload this video. And so that you can check out Grace from G Swiz's group, her 7onSun group, if you want to participate. Or you can just do it of your own, of your own accord. But, so if you guys like this video, be sure to give a thumbs up, click subscribe if you haven't already, click the bell notification if you want to be notified about my latest videos. And I hope you're enjoying your reading, and I will talk to y'all later. All right, bye!